All right, guys. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very special event. I am Mark from the Computer Engineering Students Association, and I will be your host for this evening. We are here today to celebrate our past, to enjoy the present, and to look forward to the future. After the outstanding performance of our previous event, we are here yet again to give all our viewers an opportunity to know about cybersecurity. Welcome to CESA's Cybersecurity webinar with Mr. Parshwa Bhavsar. We all know how important cybersecurity has become today. Every country spends billions of dollars just to prevent and counter those cyber attacks. A study shows that these cyber attacks have inflicted damages totaling 6 trillion US dollars in 2021 alone. Therefore, we are here in the presence of a legend, a very special person who has loads of experience in this field. He is one of the top security researchers in India. He's a cybersecurity researcher, application security engineer, bug bounty hunter. With a background in vulnerability assessment and penetration testing, his career expands over several industries, including web application testing, malware analysis, mobile and API penetration testing, and many more. He is also a certified ethical hacker designated by the EC Council University. He has worked with 60 plus tech companies, which includes Google, Microsoft, UN, Dell, BBC, Bitdefender, and so on. So people, please put your hands together for Mr. Parshwa Bhavsar. Uh, Before we begin with this event, we would like to ask our speaker, Mr. Parshwa, to just answer a few questions. Sir, if you are ready, you can just unmute and you can see.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah,
Right.
yes, sir.
Yeah. So
So
firstly, I want to
if you,
thank you, your wonderful CESA team and your university to invite me for this wonderful session. You can ask whatever you want.
yes, sir. So the first question, and let's begin with the first question. So the most important and maybe the most genuine question we all have in our minds is, how did you start your journey in this field of crypto, in this field of cybersecurity, and what inspired you to become a cybersecurity expert?
Yeah, so at the initial stage of my engineering, I was wondering like how this all the network system work. Like for example, we have in our city we have IP cameras that are already rooted in one center. Then I was asking my senior that how these all things works. After that, I am from the generation where we used to go from the cyber cafe. So I came to this word cyber from this cyber cafe. Then I dig more that what is the cyber means. Then some of my seniors suggested me that in the future the cyber security is in top level. So I pursued the computer engineering. Then I came under my university's faculty. I told them that I want to pursue the cyber security things. So they suggest me to start my career with good certification. Like in India, basically we have to prove a certification course to validate our knowledge. So that's why I pursued a course naming Certified Ethical Hacker from the EC Council University. EC Council University is basically a US based company and a university. They are very good for beginners who want to jump into the cybersecurity field. They suggested me to do some type of prerequisites like networking, and understanding basic Linux structure and all the things. And then after that, I have completed my certified ethical hacking course. Then I have practiced. I have done bug bounty. I have played CTF. CTF is basically the capture the flag. They are basically vulnerable machine meant to be vulnerable, and we have to find the sensitive flag.txt, and basically a flag, a string of a key, and we have to submit it to the owner. It is a one type of game. So I have played CTMs for my what we can say experience and for to gain my knowledge, and then I will just continue it. And after that, I will learn many computer appliance testing like mobile application testing, whether it is iOS or Android, then web application, API endpoints. And after that, I will dig more into the cybersecurity field, like like ransomware attack happen every day to any organization. So I've learned the reverse engineering. Like you have heard that this that premium application sold for free in dark web, or you have installed some type of application which provide you the uh, free content. Like for example, if someone has application like Netflix, we have login password for Netflix, but this application does not need, you just need to open and you can access all the Netflix accounts. So these are the things where the application has changed. These things are come under the reverse engineering, where we can modify the content of original application source code. And this reverse engineering also helped me in my malware analysis, where we have to test, we have to decrypt or decode the original malware. Sorry, malware, I pronounce it malware. Sorry, malware. For example, if some organization has come under the ransomware attack, so ransomware is nothing but one type of virus which can replicate himself to under the network and spread over the network. We called him worm, but there's a separate form of virus, but basically it's a virus. We have to decrypt or decode the virus with the help of reverse engineering, and then we have to remove from the sources. So I have learned many more things in my journey. Now hopefully I will learn soon.
Yes, it's truly inspiring. So next question is, what does a day in the life of a cybersecurity engineer looks like?
So if you are, there are two part. If you are working as a freelancer, or for example bug bounty hunter, bug bounty hunting is a freelancing. And if you work in any cooperative company, there are many roles in cybersecurity. Like you have CISO, you have penetration tester, you have auditing, you come under the IDS, IPS, intrusion detection system and intrusion prevention system. You came under the monitoring thing. There are many roles. My role is application security engineer, where I have to report. I have to basically try to find vulnerabilities. Vulnerabilities means the way which the application can be hacked on a various surface. I have to find that type of loopholes on the system, and then I have to suggest the probable mitigation, that how to mitigate the issue, or how to solve this type of issue. Moreover, I have to code. For example, if some companies wants to build a web application in a PHP, then I have to make a secure code, then so that in the future no hacker or no attacker can penetrate that web application. So my roles are this. Allow that. If you talk about bug bounty hunter, there's a freelancing work. So in the freelancing, there are many companies, including MNCs to small company all over the world, where they have published their bug bounty program. They cannot afford to hire any security engineer or any designation regarding cybersecurity. So basically, they have published their responsible disclosure vulnerability program, where freelancer or security researcher all over the world can find and report uh, potential vulnerabilities to mention authorized person, and the developer will look into it and try to mitigate from the suggestion which can be provided by researcher, or you can Google them. I mean, developer can Google them to how to mitigate that issue. So there are two aspect of cybersecurity life. If you are from monitoring, then you have to sit 24 by 7, and then you have to monitor all the things. For example, if you are a network security engineer, then you have to keep eye on every packet or every request and response come from your network, and goes to your outer ISP means internet service provider. For example, Geo is the internet service provider. So there are many roles and many designation in the cybersecurity, and the roles on the day of cybersecurity researcher are way more than you can imagine.
Yes, sir. So next question. Since you have a lot of experience in this field and you've also worked with so many companies, you have been a part of so many projects. So what was your most exciting or most favorite experience that you would like to share with us?
I've done internship in NCAAPC at the initial stage of my career. The NCAAPC is National Critical Information Infrastructure Protection Center, Delhi. Basically, it is a government organization which are responsible for security of all the nations, all the government website or gov.in extension website. They are responsible for all the government organization website, and I've done internship there. I'm in my 6 month of internship. First 3 months, I have to penetrate all the website of government. They have sent me the list of around 50,000 plus website, and they suggested me do whatever you want. I have no scope. Just I have to done my penetration testing. I have to report them. Like, I have found the SQL injection. I can bypass the login form. I have found cross-site scripting. I can inject HTML code. Or these examples, I have report them one. I have report them in 150 plus website, and then I have in last 3 months of my duration, they are planning to start an venture like where I have mentioned that CTF thing. It's one type of game. It is a vulnerable website. It is a vulnerable pages where you have to find the vulnerabilities. They have mentioned the list of vulnerabilities. You have to find and report them. Like I have find this vulnerability. By the exploitation of this vulnerability, you can find that flags and you have to submit that flags. By playing the CTF, you can have more knowledge in cybersecurity because the CTF suggests or CTF provide different scenarios of application which are publicly accessible or which are publicly published on the internet. So by playing CTF, you gain more knowledge in the penetration testing. So they are willing, Indian government willing to publish the CTF platform where all the researchers from the all over the world can sign up and play the CTF things. But I don't know why, but they have postponed it. But last 3 months, I have worked on that project. I have suggested some good way or some guidelines to publish it. I have code some CTFs and provided them. But after them, they have postponed it due to I don't know what are the reasons, but these are my best experience which I have learned because I have list of 50,000 website, and they give me permission do whatever you want with our website. Just give us 10 report per day, and I have to work only 5 days. So I have secured 150 plus. I don't count, but just approximate 150 plus website, government website.
Yeah, sir. Sounds really cool. Now we are really excited and we are really eager to learn more about this. So now I request you to please take over the session. The stage is all yours.
Okay, I will just share my screen. Just acknowledge me once you can see it. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, okay. Wait a minute. So today's topic about presentation is ethical hacking. I will let you move forward to all the aspect of ethical hacking. What is ethical hacker? What are the process? What are the default points which you have to be in mind to gain the knowledge of ethical hacking? So the topic which I covered today is introduction about ethical hacking, introduction about hackers, which type of hackers are available on the internet, hacking process, some practicals if the time remains, then what are the must skills which an ethical hacker pursue, the career path, what are the different designation you can have in your future after the graduation if you pursued your cybersecurity certification, what are the good certification that are available in the market, what are the advantages of having a cybersecurity degree, what are disadvantages, and then conclusion or whatever the question you have in your mind. So, firstly, what is ethical hacking? As we all know that this era is the completely on computer appliances, and after the corona, all the things are made online for all the people. You have meeting online, you have lectures online, you whatever you want to do, you can do it online. If you want to order food, if you want to order book, if you want to order any appliance, you can do it just by the tap of your words. So for the hackers, this increase the attack surface. Like they can do whatever they want, they can hack whatever they want by the means because all the things have come online, and the security. And right now, in 21st century, we have India just have started giving importance to the cyber security. Apart from India, the US, the Canada, and UK, they have implemented a secure version or secure code on their appliances or on their system. But India is just initiating their cyber security world in cyber security space. So we have so many hackers around the world. There are Iranian hackers, there are Chinese hackers, there are Pakistani hackers which are targeting our Indian application as because kindly speaking, the Indian cyberspace is more vulnerable in front of the UK and China. So they are targeting our system. Ethical hacking means there are some security researchers, there are some hackers which are not malicious minded, and they do the same things. They involve same tools, tricks, or techniques that a malicious minded that a attacker use. But the ethical hacker uh, use this technique to to report them, or for ethical hacking means, for ethical means they don't want to hurt, or they don't want to the illegal things in any way. So ethical hacking is a legal. Okay. Like, who are the ethical hackers? Hackers are all around the world. They are black hat hacker, white hat hacker, and gray hat hacker. I will come into that in future. But there are three types of hacker, and black hat hacker are all around the world. You never know who is black hat hacker. They hackers are that type of person that are that he or they want to live under the lights. They don't show them publicly that yes, I am a hacker. I can do this. They just do their work and move forward. So ethical hackers are independent security professional that break into applications by means web application, mobile application, Android, iOS, or API endpoints. What are the computer appliances they offered? They find loopholes into their system, or they report back it to the owners or any authorized person. Like I mentioned in bug bounty hunting, there are developers whom you can report it. So the ethical hackers report them back that I have found this vulnerability, this loophole, by which this attacker or hacker can damage your network or application. Ethical hackers does not damage or does not steal information. If you found SQL injection, for example, SQL injection, by means SQL injection, then you can inject some malicious amount of code. You can inject the SQL queries to the application, and the database interact with you and give the response according to your queries. So you basically you have hacked the database of whatever the vulnerable application. So if you have found SQL, or if an ethical hacker found SQL injection, then they will not steal information like email ID, password, username, phone number. You have heard many data breaches in few months back, like they are Tinder data breach, then LinkedIn data breach, and Aadhaar card data breach. You have heard about it, right? So data breach comes under the uh, SQL injection. If you found SQL injection, you can retrieve or you can download the whole database of that application, and the attacker will sell that database into the dark web. So ethical hackers does not do that. They report them back, and the company will pay them that, thank you for this. I will pay you $10,000, $1,000, whatever the severity of the vulnerability or loophole. So ethical hackers are good people, in simple word. Introduction about hackers. What are the term hacker mean? A person who uses computers to gain unauthorized access of data. Unauthorized access of data means if you are a hacker, then by social engineering, by eavesdropping, or many other methodologies are there for hacking. You can access the personal data which are not meant to be public, and which are only an authorized person can access. For hackers, hacking is a hobby to see how many computer or networks they can compromise. At the initial stage, every hacker wants to be a black hat hacker. Every security researcher wants a black hat hacker, but the black hat hacker does not have that much amount of scope in future. They have to be white hat hacker. They have to be converted in the white hat hacker. So at the initial stage of every security researcher, they are also a black hat hacker, but they have realized the things that these are illegal things, and we don't want to promote it, and they will convert into the white hat hacking. So hacking is always start by hobby, and after that they will pursue it as a career. For example, if you have if you are joined this session, you have joined about the ethical hacking, you are willing to learn about something in hacking, like if I will be a hacker, if you want to gain some knowledge about hacking, then I can hack this thing or that thing. So the hacking will always start as a hobby, but then there are ways to convert it into as a career. A hacker, there are very myths about hacker that they don't have to learn programming languages. There are many programming languages. If you are a university student, you know about there are many programming languages come across your course, like C, C++, Python, for web application, HTML, CSS, JavaScript for a mobile application, Swift, or Java, advanced Java. So there are many programming language are available in the market for different type of system. But some myths are about hacking or cyber security field is that you don't have to learn any programming language to be in cyber security field. But there are that are not the case. If you don't learn this programming thing, then you cannot develop your own exploit. You cannot develop your own code. Exploit means that there are one type of vulnerable code or malicious code which can be used for attacking. Okay, like for example, virus is a one type of code. Virus can be made by Python or C language. So you have to learn about for example, antivirus is also one type of virus, but it is a pseudo virus. It detect same type of signature which the antivirus has have been coded, and they will try to match it with the virus which are malicious, and then they prevent it. These are the step which can be performed by antivirus. They look for their matching signature. By means signature means same type of code. They find the same amount of code which they have in their database, and then they prevent from the virus. So you have to expert at one programming language. I don't want to learn all the programming language. If you are pursuing in the cybersecurity field, you have to gain at least one language at the command. I will suggest Python, because Python has some good amount of libraries and good amount of structures that they can help you in reverse engineering, in malware analysis, in exploit development, in secure code. There Python will help you in all aspect of cybersecurity. So this only my suggestion. You can also pursue base language you will have understanding the later on. So a person should have a knowledge about programming language. Next is types of hacker. As already I have mentioned, there are three types of hackers available: black hat hacker, white hat hacker, and gray hat hacker. Black hat hackers are the bad people. They are malicious minded people. They use their knowledge and skill for their personal gains, or probably by hurting others. For example, a state has, for example, of Gujarat, and the Gujarat has a the group of hackers, lulsec. I have joined that lulsec, but I have I've quit there because they are trying to do malicious thing for the Gujarat government, against the Gujarat government. So they are state sponsored hackers. There are terrorist group in the hacking field. They hack our Indian government website in 14th August. Most probably every 14th August, Pakistani hackers deface our website, our Indian government website, and post it that Happy Independence Day Pakistan, and we will be new etc etc. And on the 15th August, our Indian hackers do the same. They will deface all the not all the but probable vulnerable or probable few website of Pakistan government, and write on that Happy Independence Day India, and we will come back, and etc etc, like surgical strike. So there are blackhead people. They are do the things for malicious minded, um, for the personal gains. For example, someone has hacked the Bitcoin account, then they will steal your Bitcoin information and convert their Bitcoins into their personal account. So black hat hacker, we don't have to be black hat hacker. There are more opportunities in white hat hacking. So don't thought about become a black hat hacker. After that, white hat hacker. White hat hackers are individual professionals that they use their skill for defensive purpose. They provide the knowledge of potential vulnerabilities, potential loophole, potential techniques which the black hat hacker also knows, but they don't share. White hat hackers share to the responsible organization that by this way, your website can be hacked. Kindly make patch or make secure your this type of code or whatever the vulnerability is. So they suggest the security also, and the white hat hackers are good people, and they have more payout. They have they they can make more money rather than black hat hacker. Gray hat hacker are two in one. They sometimes they can be black hat hacker, sometimes they can be white hat hacker. Sometimes they use their skills for the common good. For example, I have mentioned that bug bounty hunter. They are freelancer. They have not joined any company, so they can use their skill for whatever they want. For if they have to earn money, then they can use that money in they can use their skill in bug bounty and report them to the organization, then the organization can pay him. But let me give you my example. For example, if I am a gray hat hacker, and I am freelancer, I'm doing bug bounty, I have no job, then I will at morning I will do bug bounty hunting. I will report the security vulnerability, and at afternoon, I have fought with my any friend, then I will use phishing or any things to hack their Instagram account, or hack their whatever the social account they or he or she is using. So it is a part of black hat hacking. So gray hat hackers can be both. They can be white hat hacker, and sometimes they can be black hat hacker. In bug bounty, there are gray hat hacker also. Uh, Let me give you my example. Uh, One of my friend is doing bug bounty hunting. It is a freelancer, and he has found this serious vulnerability in Zomato back at 3 or 4 years back, where all the data of all the Zomato users can be publicly accessible by some type of processing of exploitation, and it can be downloaded in various form. So basically he leaked the database of Zomato, where all the phone number, address, name, password, username all can be fetched by some amount of query of SQL. And he asked me what to do. I suggested him to report them, but he told me that if I report this, they will only pay me $1,000. But if I sell this information in dark web, then the opposite company, for example Swiggy, I don't remember the company name, but there's one application like Swiggy. This was the startup, as they want all the data of users of Zomato to do marketing. So they have bought all the data of Zomato in $10,000. So these are the things, yeah, the gray hat hacker does. Sorry for my bad pronunciation. Okay, move forward. Physics of hacking. These are the five phases of hacking which all type of ethical hackers can follow or do follow. There there are no ethical hackers in the world which or he or she is not following these steps. First is recognition. Recognitions mean information gathering. The more you know about your target, the more chance to find exploitation or more chance to find vulnerabilities in or about your target. So recognition mean information gathering. You have to gather as many information as you know. I will okay, let me demonstrate you now. For example, I have one website. Give me some random website name. Anybody from you? Hello, hello. Am I audible?
I love Instagram.com.
Okay, Instagram.com. Okay, so this is a extension. Its name is Wapalizer. You can install it in your browser. It is a surface level information gathering. If you click on this, it will give the list of all the technologies that has been used by the Instagram.com for widgets. They have used Facebook. They have used HTTP protocol for authentication. Here, login with Facebook. They have used Facebook login. They have used JavaScript framework of React. If I will, so this is one website. Malwarebytes is a uh, antivirus or anti-malware program. They have also the extension for browser. I will suggest all the person to install it in your system as well as in your browser. If you install it in your system, they will ask you to install it on your browser, and if you click yes, it will automatically install it in your browser. This will protect you to visit, like if I have visited again, then they have told me that this website blocked due to Trojan. They have suspected that this website has Trojan or malicious code that can be hacked or that can be vulnerable. So they have suggested me to not visit this website. I will suggest you all to download it in the browser. Okay, so if I will open this website, the CMS means content management. Sorry, I forgot the full form of CMS. Okay, no problem. CM is one type of framework which you have, that will help you to develop the web application. If you don't have any knowledge about HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, then you can use this type of CMS. You just need the drag and drop. For example, if you want to make this page, you have to drop this logo here, this text here, this thing here. So this CMS will help you to develop the web applications. For CMS, they have used WordPress. For marketing automation, they have used Sendinblue database. They have used MySQL. If you found SQL injection vulnerability, then there are many type of database available in the market: MySQL, Oracle, NoSQL, GraphQL. Then how you will know that what type of query will I perform in this field? So at that time, if you have this extension or if you have gathered the information about the target, then you have known that this is a MySQL. Then you can inject the SQL queries of MySQL database, and you can potentially grab the information regarding the application. Analytics tool, some blog site, that font script for fonting this text. They have used this for error tracking and JavaScript. This type of this many JavaScript library. Notice that they have also mentioned the JavaScript version, and if this 3.6.0 is the latest version, but if you find the older version of the JavaScript, then you can search Google for potential vulnerability which has been disclosed by this JavaScript framework. For example, if here it has 2.6.0 or 2.7.1, then they are the vulnerable framework. If this application is using these libraries, then you can find potential vulnerability of JavaScript. You just need to find exact CVE or exact expert from the Google. You will find easily. Page builder, cookie compliances, the plugins, retargeting, CDN. CDN means network firewall. They have used Cloudflare. So this is the ground level information gathering, but this information gathering will help you in your attack surfacing. After that, scanning. For it, like I have mentioned that I came to know about JavaScript version, jQuery version, and it is a older version. Then after that, you have to find the correct endpoint, and you have to exploit that endpoint. An endpoint means any page or any JS endpoint, any JS file. So you have to target for that particular vulnerability. After that, gain access. Gain access means to exploit that vulnerability. For example, that jQuery version was older and it was vulnerable by cross-site scripting vulnerability. So you have to scan for uh, cross-site scripting vulnerability. After then, you have to exploit the cross-site scripting vulnerability. The exploitation of cross-site scripting has many aspects. For example, if it was a reflected accesses, then you can grab the session cookie of any visitors of your website. If it was a stored cross-site scripting, then you can deface the website. So there are more into exploitation part. I will not go there. I will just give the brief overview of it. So in gaining access, you need to exploit that vulnerability and make a attempt to hack into the target system. Yes, anybody want to say something? Okay. After that, maintaining access means if you have uh, accessed that system, if you found cross-site scripting, then you have to install a backdoor or install a virus. Backdoor is one type of a virus malware which can be placed by hackers to access their system in future. uh, Let me show you if I will. Okay, whatever. If I'm not allowed to do it, I will take it. Mudiraj, I'm not remember it. Wait a minute. Just wait a second. So this is my shell. Shell means one type of vulnerable PHP file which can be uploaded in the server and it will affect all the files from the server. It is a backdoor. The main website is mudirajmarriagebureau.co.in and this ghost.php is my backdoor which I have placed, and I will enter this website by entering the password. I don't remember the okay. Then my password was correct and I can access all the files from the server. Uh, I can modify this in index.html, index.php. So I can modify the files or I can deface the file. Man, there are many more things which I can do with this website. Although I have reported this vulnerability to the responsible organization and they are willing to patch it. So I don't know what time it is, but they will patch it. So this is the type of backdoor by means you can. I have found the SQL injection vulnerability and I have bypassed the SQL. Admin login, and in admin login I have uploaded this my ghost.php, and after that if I want to visit the server and I have to modify anything from the server, I will just go to my backdoor and access it with my password, and then I can do whatever I want. So if you are ethical hacker, then you have to report them to the security. If you are black hat hacker, then leave that thing. So this is the maintaining access. In the clearing tracks means every server, every website has logs in their destination path. For example, like I have visited this Mudiraj website and I have found that log file is already in the server. Then I can modify the server and modify the log file, and I will delete all my traces. In log there are IP address, browser name, OS version. There are many more things in the logs. I have to delete my information from the log and move back. So these are the main five phases of ethical hacking. Every security researcher, every hacker follow these steps. Now I will give more introduction or more brief about web application penetration testing. If you are willing to jump into the cyber security, I will suggest you to start from the VAPT, web application penetration testing, and this is the best course or best topic to start your career. After, if you learn all the vulnerabilities of web application, then you can move forward to mobile, then you can API, then thick client testing, thin client means Windows application testing, Windows software testing. So this is the groundest level of a penetration testing. This is a web application penetration testing. Now there is one company called OWASP, Open Web Application Security Project. They are the top company for researching, for learning the resources. This organization provide unbiased and practical, cost-effective information about the computer and internet application. The goal of OWASP Top 10, every 2 or 3 years they will publish the top 10 security vulnerability to educate developer, security researcher, organization about the consequences about the vulnerabilities which they have published in top 10, and what are the security weakness after the attack compromises. Every year they release reports on top 10 from most web application. I will take one by one of all the top 10. Okay. Not every year. Lastly they have mentioned in 2019. They have published in 2021. So it was a 2 years gap. So the 2019 uh, OWASP Top 10 named OWASP Top 10 2017, but it was published in 2019. The first was injection, broken authentication, sensitive data exposure, XML external entity, broken access control, security misconfiguration, cross-site scripting, insecure deceleration, using component with known vulnerabilities, insufficient logging and monitoring. And at the January and February, they have published the OWASP Top 10 2021. Top 10 means these are the top vulnerabilities which can a developer or which can security researcher more focuses on now on. So these are the more most famous vulnerability or more common available vulnerability in many web application right now as per OWASP top 10 report, and everybody follows OWASP top 10. So these are the most famous and most vulnerable vulnerabilities. Broken access control. There are three new vulnerability: insecure design, software and data integrity failures, and SSRF, server side request forgery. I will give example of all, not all, but 5 or 6 of them, or if possible. Okay. The first one is broken access control. See, in website security, the developer made the website, but the developer forget to put a limit on the some amount of section or some amount of pages which an visitor can reach depending on their needs. For example, if I am a developer, I have made a good application about hostel management system where a doctor can log in, a patient can log in, or any employee can log in and upload their data, upload their previous work, their attendance, but they have forget to make a limitation on the page of admin. If they have found the admin login page, for example slash admin, then they can exploit that to username and password, and if they have access of admin login, then they can do whatever they want. So there are many endpoints in a simple word. There are many endpoints in the website which are meant to be private or which is not meant to be public. or not meant to be visitors. So they have to put a limitation, they have to put some amount of security protection there, so any non-authorized user cannot visit it. For example, hosting controls, if the website has cpanel, then they have to restrict that cpanel endpoint, admin panel, the ftp server or ssh server, admin panel is again, or any other application or on any other endpoint which are not meant to be public. For example, let me show you one more example of it. So this is one website of IIT. I don't know IIT. I guess Indore, or I don't know which state, but this is a website of IIT, and this is the PHP MyAdmin. PHP MyAdmin is a MySQL portal which you can upload, download, or modify the SQL code, and the SQL, one of their SQL file is publicly available. So by not protecting this endpoint, or not make this endpoint as a 403, every visitor can visit their endpoint, and they have the information about their database, like what type of table they have, what type of column they have. If you dig more, you can find the username or any other information. Let me scroll down. It is not clearly visible. This is some ID number, and these are some encrypted text. You can decrypt it, you can find more information regarding the data, or regarding the database, or users of the database. I have recently hacked, about 3 or 4 months back, Punjab police database. I have reported them that your database is vulnerable. I can download all the database of your police commissioner, like the name of the police, designation of the police, the number of the any police commissioner, basically all database of Punjab police. I have reported them. I have made a blog on it. I will share it to the CESA team. They will forward you if you have any group. This is the SQL code. If anyone knows about SQL language, then they will understand what is it. So here are some information. Compound 23 is not available, under investigation. I mean, these are some type of medicine and all. So this is the SQL endpoint. This endpoint is meant to be private, but they have not made a protection on there. So they have the broken access control vulnerability. I have also reported this vulnerability, but they haven't patched it. I will contact them in future for more mitigation, but right now it is vulnerable. So these are the broken access control vulnerabilities. Next is injection vulnerability. Code injection vulnerability. Code injection means any programming language code, whether it is HTML, CSS code, or SQL code. These are the example of SQL injection code. For example, if someone has mentioned the select star from account where customer ID is one, then let me show you in one example like how this code work. For example, this is one website, right? So for this is in example, this is the code of this website, and right now we have ID number 11493. So if I have to visit any other page, for example, if I will remove 1492, it is, let me find one link for correct example. I can't find any link. Okay, for example, suppose this is a hyperlink. If I click this link, then I will redirect to ID number 1491. Well, so how this backend code works? The backend code works. The web application told to database that open the page. Which page to select, star means select from account. For example, in account means page, where the customer ID means page ID is 1491, and they will request the get parameter to ID plus ID number 149191, and the page returns me with the ID number 1491, and the page load it in my browser. But if I will add this query, ID is equal to year 1491, and after that I will uh, copy this query and paste it here. This code this code suggests, like, now your ID, see here you can see his ID parameter is ended at double quotation and semicolon. So I have mentioned double quotation and semicolon. So that database thought that my code ends here. After that, new line, drop tables account. So I tell the database that drop all the tables from the database or from the table name account, and this double dash means comment. So comment means whatever the code have written after this line, which will not execute in the database. So I know this won't work here, but for example, it will fetch all the tables from the database. This is the one example of injection vulnerability. In injection vulnerability, the attacker will send improper or invalid data to web application with the intention to make it do something that the application was not meant to be. In the previous example, the application not meant to be give the table name or give the sensitive information to the user or to the attacker, but by injecting some amount of string, some amount of query, some amount of code, the web application do as per the attacker say. Okay, so this is the example of injection. Next is insecure design. Let me tell you in a theory point of view. Firstly, the bookish definition is insecure design is a broad category representing different weakness as expressed as missing or ineffective control design. For example, missing protection on a user input or usage of unsafe APIs. The first example is missing usage on user input. For example, the website has two field naming email and PID, email, password, and login. The two field and one button. So if you enter correct email, correct password, and click on login, then the application can enter you and you can log in. But if they have missing protocols or missing security on the password input field, so the protection on the password input field is vulnerable. Then if you, for example, the common security purpose or common way of design password field is to mention the maximum length of password field. There are one protocol, there are one function. If you add in your HTML code, it will bound it to the some amount of length. For example, 8 length of password. If you write 9 length, then it will not be written in the application. But if you forgot to mention that function max length is equal to, then the attacker can enter whatever the amount of string or whatever amount of text. And if they have mentioned the 1,000 word of the password and click on sign in, then the database cannot handle this much amount of or this long string of the password, and ultimately the web application can be hanged or can be uh, stopped. Let me show you one example by previously reported one of the vulnerability. Sorry, long string word DOS. Okay. Uh, This is one. The hacker one is a bug bounty platform which an attacker and security researcher and company signed up. The attacker have to find the potential vulnerability by the list of the company which have provided to them. For example, this is one page. They have mentioned the steps to reproduce. This vulnerability is already patched. If you visit this sign up page and enter whatever the email ID you want, and in the password field you have to write this. You have to copy and paste this. This is the 1 lakh character string of the password. Normally password field has 8, 10 or 24 digit maximum length, but they have forgot to mention it, and they have, and the attacker have pasted it on this link. And if he click on button, then the server cannot handle this much amount of request, and the application can be unresponsive. If you thought that this is a very foolish vulnerability and this vulnerability does not mean anything, then you can notice that the company has provided him $100 for reporting this issue. So every vulnerability is important if you can give them the correct information or correct impact of the vulnerabilities. This is the same amount of link. Uh, the attacker has already mentioned the screenshot. The same thing happens here. The attacker has entered this amount of text in the password field and click on button, and the application returns as 500 internal server error. The web application crashes. Okay, so these are the consequences if you have not made the protection of designing, or you have made the insecure designing. Next is security misconfiguration. If the common configurations aren't set correctly, then it will come under the security misconfiguration. It could be debugging or give permission to incorrect folders or use default account and password. What I mean by default account means if a tester or if a developer has made an application, then he or she have to find, or he or she have to make sure that every endpoint, every functionality is working perfectly. So they will run their application on their local environment, and they will try to test every endpoint, every login page to make their process simple. They have made some default account or some account for their own to test the login page or sign up page. So these are the default account and password. And in most common, all the developer all the developer will use admin as a username, admin as a password. So the admin is a most default credential by that will used by the developers. So if they have forget to remove it from the database, then it can it and made it to the live, or made it uploaded their system into the server, and if the attacker comes to that application, then it can be hacked by the default credential, this vulnerability called default credential. And the vulnerability come under the security misconfiguration severity. So these are the many security misconfiguration vulnerability are there. There are more list of it, but I will just give you one type of example. Debugging means in WordPress there are one endpoint which most of the developer is meant or is forgot to restrict from the visitors. It is a debug.log. It come under WP content file, and if the application has made it publicly available, then the debug.log can be exposed to any visitor, and it can be hacked by generous way. So I don't have any example of debugging, but you can test it on any application which is using uh, WordPress if you know anything. Okay, so this is security. Then vulnerable and outdated components. I have already mentioned this step about jQuery. And like if you find any outdated version or outdated framework or any outdated code or libraries, and the if any security researcher from the world has found that vulnerability or found any vulnerability on that particular version, then it can be in more impactful and it came under the vulnerable and outdated components. For example, old or unpatched dependencies in the dependency chain. For example, jQuery. So they have also already demonstrated the impact or demonstrated the provided you the example of it. Next is identification and authentication failure. Uh, in previously in previous version of OWASP top 10, it was known as a broken authentication. Broken authentication vulnerability allow an attacker to use manual or any automatic methods to try to gain control over any account which they want in a system, or even worse, they can gain complete control over the system. What I mean is, if one application has a login form, email ID and password, but they have made not the security protection on their endpoint, then an attacker can brute force for email and password. For example, if you have university, your university has a login page of yours, and if they have not made the security protocols in the login page, then any attacker can enter the email address. For example, if any attacker wants to target any of you, then by the technique of information gathering, he or she will know about your email id. So the one field is correct email id. Now the next thing is password. So there are text file which are publicly available. For example, rocky.txt, they have list of common password like 10,000 or 10 lakh password in their text file. So he or she will use that text file to brute force the password field. Brute force means try to check every information. For example, email is set. Now in the list of 10,000 password, they will try one by one password. There are many automated tools available for brute forcing. Their tools, you just need to parse uh, the text file of that contains the password list, and it will automatically check with every possible combination. For example, one email id and password for first password is 123, and your email id, the victim email id, is abc@gmail.com. So the automated tool will test with all the probable combination, like email is equal to abc@gmail.com, password is equal to 123. If it returns password correct, then it will show that this password is correct. If not, then move to next line, the next point or next password 12345, and so on. So these are the come under the broken authentication, where an attackers can brute force the login page, and this login page have no security protocols. The attacker can uh, brute force this more amount of text or more amount of string into the login page. These come under the identification and authentication failures. There are many ways by doing manually. Will not go there because for that you need some amount of knowledge of request and response, and I guess you don't have this right now. So I will just give a demonstration or give scenario of the automated method. I don't have any uh, live example of it. Otherwise, I will show it. Next is software and data integrity failures. So use of critical data or apps without verification of their identity falls under this category. For example, if you visit any website, for example, any shopping website, abc at the rate, sorry, abcexample.com. It is a shopping website like Amazon, and they have two functionality: login and sign up. You go to this sign up functionality. You have sign up with your email id and password and click sign up, and you just sign up. There are no security protocols, or there are no security mechanism there to verify that email id, right? In current world, if you use any social media, if you sign up in new account, they have some amount of security measures to prove that you are the legitimate user. Like if you have mobile number. If you sign up with mobile number, then they have OTP. If you have email ID, then there is a verification link comes under uh, your provided email ID, and if you click on link, then your email ID has been verified. Now you can sign in. But if any website has forgot this type of mechanism, then for example, I have visited one website, I have came to know that this is a shopping website, and they don't have security protocol, security measures to verify any signed up user. Then I will sign up with one of my victim, one of my friend's account. And if the victim wants to sign up later on, then he or she will not sign up, because I have already signed up as uh, as him. Or more worst case, if it is a social media, if a social media has this type of vulnerability, then I can sign up with my friend's account with the name of my friends, and then I can post it any abusive things on the online, and the target or the victim will be my friend or anyone whom email ID which I have used. So this come under software and data integrity failures, security logging and monitoring. This is a one small uh, topic. Like I have mentioned, the IDS, IPS, and the auditing and monitoring things. There are more people are working on the auditing and monitoring. So they will continuously analyze the software and the development file or the log file, and if they can find any threat or suspicious behavior, then they will block that endpoint. For example, in token authentication, if they have used the security logging and monitoring functionality, then in log file they came to know that this IP address is constantly giving me request for email ID and password, and it is constantly giving, constantly what I can say, constantly providing me or asking me for password. Then and it has loaded my server, then they will blacklist the IP address, and now the user cannot try any combination. So this come under logging and monitoring. Next is server side for request forgery. It is a very high level of vulnerability, and it was very commanding vulnerability. If I put it in a simple word, this vulnerability makes an attacker to request the server on behalf of any HTTP server, and then they can retrieve or fetch the data. In a simple word, if the website has implemented a firewall, VPN, any database server, front-end server, reverse proxy, so these are some component of the server. And if the website has SSRA vulnerability, then I can make a risk request. I can send a crafted request to the firewall, and the firewall will allow me to enter to the database or to the server. So this SSRF will high level vulnerability. And if you found SSRF, then you can have more amount of bounties, more amount of reward. These are the some required skills of an ethical hacker. First one is router, or router, whatever the type, whatever the things you can pronounce. In UK English, you can say it as a router. In US English, you can say it as a routers. Knowledge of routers and the order protocols and access control list, which have you we which have been must if you do the Wi-Fi penetration testing. Network protocol, TCP/IP, or how the function can be implemented or can be manipulated. Programming skill, as I have mentioned earlier, that programming skill is very necessary for you to write exploit or write code for computational device to perform various instruction. Next is problem solving skills. The solving skill will help you to determine or to think about the target and to think about the attacking methodology, so that you can approach it with the more out of the mind boxes. The advantage of ethical hacking, if you have learned the ethical, oh, sorry, I guess I am back. Okay. Uh, so the ethical hacking's advantages. If you have learned hacking, then you can help the government to fight against the cyber terrorism, and to fight against the data breaches which can be hacked or which can be done in the various aspects. So you can prevent the future data breaches or future cyber attacks. Uh, and this will help you to defend against any malicious minded hackers. If you have learned hacking, then you know what are the process, what are the mitigation, what are the steps that attacker can follow, or what are the things can attacker do. So it will help you to defend yourself. You can build a preventful system, like I have mentioned this secure code. You can develop the secure code, then no attacker can penetrate it. And you can find or close the open loops. For if you find open protocol, open network, then you can close it. For example, that I have mentioned, that Mudiraj things, the Iranian hackers have defaced this site. I have came to know this website by surfacing on the internet. Then I have showed I have came under that the Iranian hackers have defaced it. After that, I have visited the website, go to the admin portal, and I have uploaded my backdoor. I have gained access to the server. I have removed the all the shell, all the backdoors of Iranian and Pakistani hackers. There are also backdoor available of the Pakistani hackers. I have removed all the backdoors from there, cleaned their system, and after that I have reported to the responsible organization that this thing can happen. Then so you can close the open holes in a computer system or in any application, any computer compliances. So these are the very good advantages. There are more advantages, but these are the main advantages to learn about ethical hacking. What are the disadvantages? As I have mentioned you that by hiring such professional will increase cost to the company. That's why many companies will not have designation about cyber security, because they are very small company. They cannot afford the payout or the salary of the security professional, as it will go in 5 or 6 digit. The ethical hacking process is also based on the trust. If you have trust to the person, then you can give the application. Like freelancing, the company give some amount of trustworthiness, so that an ethical hacker can penetrate it, or the company has to be trust on the ethical hackers that they will not do any harm things. So that if you learn ethical hacking, and if you turn out to be ethical black hat hacker, then you can corrupt the thread files or data. And if the organization will came to know that then you will ended up in the jail. So ethical hacking disorder, this technique can harm someone's privacy. As you know the ethical hacking tactics or techniques, then you can harm someone's privacy if you choose to become black hat hacker. So these are the disadvantages. Okay. These are the infosec job titles. Just let me know that how much amount of time it's been remaining, so that I will fast forward or not. Let me know how much amount of time remaining. Anyone from your anyone from this
So we
session?
have 10 more minutes approximately, and then we can have a Q&A session.
Okay, so I will fast forward the things. So first one is Chief Information Security Officer. In the simple word, if I put it is a CISO, CISO. It's pronounced as a CISO officer. The main or the CISO officer is a typically a mid-executive level position whose job is to oversee the general operation of a company's or IT security division. Next is Forensic Computer Analyst. The forensic computer analyst is the detective of the cybersecurity world. uh, they review computer-based information, log files, try to find evidence for following any security breach or any security incident happens in in the company, and they will report it. Next is information security analyst. They are responsible for the protection of an organization computer IT system and networks. Penetration tester. uh, Penetration testing concerns the proactive authorized employment of testing techniques on different IT infrastructure to identify potential loopholes or potential vulnerability. They will hack your system with your permission, and they will try to specifically regarding the design of security system to counter potentially catastrophic issues. Next is security system administrator. Security system administration's core responsibility are quite similar to those of many other cybersecurity jobs like installing, administering, maintaining, and troubleshooting computer network and data security items. IT security consultant. The IT security consultants is a very key and very progressive things in the current scenario. They meet with the clients and advise them on how to best protect their organization cybersecurity objectives efficiently and cost effectively. They often hired by smaller companies and agencies that cannot afford to handle their security issue in house. So there are many more job here than security software developer. The security software developer will develop code in a secure way. They also know about the protocols or security mechanism, how an attacker and can attack my code. Then they have mind that they have this in mind, and after that they will make code about it. Computer security incident responder, they are like monitoring people. They 24 by 7 work on monitoring and logging. And if they found any current threat, or if they found that someone is dosing my website, someone is trying to hack my website right now, then they will respond currently. They will not ask any permission or any authoritative job like someone is doing this, can I do this? They will do whatever they want in a quick time. So these are the infosec job titles which are quite famous or quite in form right now. Next is cybersecurity certification. This certification will validate your knowledge. In India, basically, if I speak, the first one is CISSP, CISA, CISM, Security Plus, CEH. I have pursued the CEH. It is a very beginner friendly. If you want to jump into the ethical hacking or cybersecurity field, then I would suggest to pursue this CEH. Then after then you can have the EGPT. Then next is GACC, EJPT, CASP, GCIH, OSCP. We don't have time. Otherwise, I will give brief introduction about all the certification. But next time, if I will do it. My key achievements. Who am I? I'm a top 15 security researcher from India in April 2021. I am under the top 300 hackers from the Europe's ethical hacking platform. I have secured more than 60 plus MNCs, multinational companies like Google, Microsoft, Apple, Dell, BBC, UN, etc. There are more 60 plus websites which I have secured. I have found three zero days vulnerabilities. 0 days vulnerability means if any website or if any component, if any software, if any framework has updated recently, or they have in their latest framework or in their latest version. For example, WhatsApp, if you have updated WhatsApp, so right now there are no update available. The update is in update or so sorry, the software is it's in a latest version. If you found any vulnerability in current or in the latest version of this any software, then it is known as a 0 day vulnerability, which because you haven't reported to the organization, and you are the person, or you only know about the potential vulnerabilities in the latest version, so you can exploit it. No one uh, knows about it. So I have found three 0 days vulnerability in three different software. One is component CMS, and then other is some system I don't remember. They are very long name of the software. So I have three 0 days vulnerability. You can find more information in the CV or in the expert database. I have 50 plus Hall of Fame from the smaller company, like for small organization which can't afford the bounties or the reward in US dollar or in any amount of money, so they have provided the hall of fames. I have 50 plus hall of fames from the smaller company. I have 20 plus appreciation letter and certification for different website, and I have 10 plus swags means some amount of goodies like t-shirt, stickers, badges, hoodies. So it will come under these swags. Some for example, there is one shopping site, or for example Lenscart will provide you some amount of swag means the style of the specs, chashma, if you can say it. So they are providing. I have 10 plus amount of swag from the different website like Sony, the Grow app, the Urban app. So these are the things of mine. My portfolio, you can find it here. You can mail me any question regarding it in future. My portfolio website and are currently under construction, so you cannot visit right now. I've made just some changes, so it is down right now. But I will live within 1 week. My LinkedIn account is temporarily banned by LinkedIn because of many requests. He has a very good security protocol, although it is a false positive because the LinkedIn thought that I have hacked their system and I have making the request from all over the from all the users to my account, but it is not the case. So they have currently disabled my account, and my blogs are parshwa.fabf.medium.com. You can find it here, or if you can type the infosec helper or I, then you can also be my medium list. Let me share you one of my blogs so that you can. Sorry. This is my ID. If you open this link, then you will find many more. Okay, chat is disabled, no problem. I will just share it to the CESA team. Otherwise, you can visit it. Be inspired. Imagination is more important than knowledge. These are the words by Albert Einstein. Okay, so if you have any question right now, then you can ask me.
Hello, sir.
Yes,
Sir, my name is Pranati, sir.
yes, Pranati.
I, sir, I wanted to ask you that which is the best security app according to you in terms of cost and protection?
Security app means like any application right now currently in the
Uh,
market.
yes, yes,
There are many more application. You are talking about antivirus, right?
yes, antivirus.
So for mobile application, the Bit Defender is there, the Norton Mobile Security is there. For free, there are Avast is there, Kaspersky is there. McAfee is also the good. I am using the McAfee right now in my mobile application. But I will suggest the Norton and Avast for your costly budget and the free of use also. If you talk about the free antivirus, then there is Malwarebytes also. Then Sophos. Then Beat Defender also runs the free version of it, so you can install Malwarebytes. I would suggest all person to install Malwarebytes on the phone and laptop or whatever the compliance you have. They have both the free and the premium version, but I would suggest you to not buy premium. Just you can install the free version. It has more things. Also, you can install the Intercept X in your mobile application. You can also install Bitdefender also. So these are the good applications to be having.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, myself, Ved Dahale. I wanted to ask, sir, that what are the jobs in the government sector for this cyber security?
Uh, like how to get job from the government section.
Yeah, that could be also, but more specifically, what the cyber security experts can help the government in doing?
There are many designation are available in the uh, what I can say in the government department. For example, if you just earn a bachelor degree, you have done any certification, then you can go for any position like computer forensic and cyber crime. Then another position is like database security. Then they have ethical hackers and penetration testers also. Uh, then they have intrusion protection, like they are the people running on IDS and IPS. So there are many designation. Just wait a minute, I have that in my presentation if I have left it with also. One of my friend is also working in government organization. Yes, one of my friend is working as a security analyst. I have mentioned that information security analyst. Our government has only security analysts which have the same work: security analyst, security engineer, security architect, security administrator, security developer, cryptographer, crypt analyst, the CISO officer, then consultant. There are many designation which can be mentioned by very specialized roles. If you have done the PhD or you have done masters in cybersecurity, then they are very specialized roles which can have the more impact, like intrusion detection specialists which are set on the IDS IPS. They have to just do monitoring and prevent the live attack. Then the security incident responder, I have already mentioned computer security incident responder, a member of the team that prepares for and mounts rapid response to security threats and attacks such as virus and DOS attacks. Then secure code auditor, they review software source code to identify potential security issues and that could be exploited by hackers to gain unauthorized access. So they will just review the code. Then virus technician, they analyze newly discovered computer virus and design and develop software to defend against them. For example, any new malware or new virus come into the market in the internet, then the malware analyst or reverse engineering guy will look into it and make the protection against the virus. For example, we have update on antivirus, so that update are must have to be installed because there is must be a new virus uploaded on the internet. Then there are penetration tester available. Then there are more job profiles like vulnerability assessors. It scan for identifies vulnerability in IT system and report it. Some of the new designation is like security architects, which I haven't mentioned here, but our Indian government has this position, security architect. They design a security system or major components of a security system, and they are be the head of a security design team building or a new security system. For example, okay, I have mentioned the security architect. Security architect are basically a head, and the people who are good at the secure code, they have the team of it and they are the head of that team, and the secure coder will code that any application, and the architect will just give the outlines or give the commands to do whatever the company requires or the government has asked to do. So these are the some job profiles in available currently in the government agencies as well as e-commerce sector like banks or financial firms. For example, RBI Bank, ICICI Bank. So these are the common uh, job profiles. I will summarize once again: security analyst, security engineer, security architect, security administrator, security software developer, cryptographer, crypt analyst, CISO officer, security consultant. Then the higher roles: intrusion detection specialist, computer security incident responder, source code auditor, virus technician, penetration tester, and vulnerability assessor. These are the designation. I hope I have cleared your doubt. Anything you want to ask? Anything you want to ask about any designation? Like what are the roles or what are the responsibility of this particular designation? If you want to ask. Hello. Hello.
I guess yes, no doubt. So let's take one question from the chat. Gaurang has a doubt. He says, "Sir, what are logic bombs?"
Hello? Anybody has speak anything? Can't hear you.
Yes, sir. Can you hear?
Uh, hello?
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Hello? Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir, you are. But can you hear?
Yeah, yeah. Your voice is breaking. Okay. Yes, yes. Now speak.
Yes, sir. Gaurang has a doubt. He says that, "Sir, what are logic bombs?"
Okay, so I have mentioned about the reverse engineering thing. Anybody know about this app called Picasso, or one app which has been banned in by Maharashtra government, Thop TV or anything. If you someone has encountered about this app, which this app what does this app does? They will provide you the premium content like the TV shows from the Netflix or Amazon Prime or anything app anything which are the not meant to be free. So and these type of apps are not available in the Play Store because they are the third party source. If an attacker has made the clone website, so you will find many clones of Instagram where you can fool any person uh, by for increasing your follower amount by entering your follower amount and provide them, let's see, let's by showing them, see I have this many amount of followers. So there are many very clone apps available in the market. There are malicious apps available in the market. For example, Instagram. You have downloaded Instagram, but it was a clone app. It is not legitimated. But this website, for example, this sorry, not website. This application has logic bomb embedded in this program or in this application. So the logic bombs are one type of code that are intentionally insert into any software that will set off a malicious code or malicious function or malicious conditions are set by the hacker or a coder. And in a simple word, the hacker has put some amount of uh, some piece of code and hide it into the files. And if you for example, an attacker has sent you this, like, this is a Instagram clone, but it has a dark mode feature. So you will install it. Yeah, yeah, I have dark mode feature. I will install it. You will open it. In the head, it has dark mode user interface, and it will perfectly work as a Instagram. But an attacker or an hacker has hide a piece of code that start deleting or start uploading your files to the hacker server. So or even back or even bad, they have hide the backdoor in their application. Their application work completely legitimate, but the extra amount of piece of code which have been hide in that legitimate application will hack your system, whether it was a ransomware or any exploit code for bypassing. Like, if you install some amount some software, then they are asking you to select that allow app from unknown source. So if you give permission, then that code will enter into the system and do whatever they meant to be designed, to brute force, to use your system as an attack surface, to delete your or to modify any files from your system. So these are the logic bomb.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Now, Pratik, do you have any doubts?
Yes, one last doubt, sir. So I have a question that in many of the movies it is shown that people get a message of online fraud that they have won a jackpot from the same bank account. They get the message, or in real life incident, we have also this problem. So how we can prevent ourselves from this online frauds?
Yeah, firstly, this type of attack called phishing. If you have phishing in your email, then it's called phishing. If like some like you have mentioned in message box, it's called smishing. SMS HING. If someone calls you like, I am from Airtel, or I am from this bank, and your password has been reset, you need to give me OTP, and your OTP comes to your mobile, and you will provide them the OTP, then this attack comes under phishing. And the original form or original origin of the this attack is phishing, where the attacker will try to exploit by the social engineering mean. This whole scenario or this whole prop is known as a social engineering, in which you have to fool your victim. And the very good question is how to detect against, or how to find if you have a. Okay, uh, give me your email ID. I will demonstrate you live, or I will show you in my. But if I don't have any example, okay, open your email ID, open your Gmail box. If you are in a laptop, then open your gmail.com, or open any email which has been come before. Okay, just do let me know if you have open any email which has been in your sent box. You can unmute yourself also.
Yes,
I
yes,
will.
just a minute.
Okay. Before this session, I want to give the live demonstration of this fishing. I have talked with your Shasha, uh, uh, what I can say, the responsible person from the Shasha, which I have been contacted by. I have asked for the permission. I want to ask permission for this attack, the phishing. Because the phishing is most common attack happens in all the scenarios. So I have to demonstrate how the phishing happens and how to identify the phishing. But for the time limit, we can't do it. Otherwise, we have done it. Just do let me know if you have opened your gmail.com, login with your email ID, and you have any email in your sandbox in your primary.
Yes, sir, I've done it. I've opened it.
Okay, if you have opened, then you will notice three dots in right corner.
Oh, yes.
Okay, click on three dots,
Yes.
and you will notice from the bottom for the show original. Click on this show original, and if you open this, there is one type of table open there which has message ID in it. If you got the email from Sony Live, there are many promotion email comes. If you sign up as a Sony Live in the Sony Live, then it will have some random ID at the rate something at dot sonylive.com. Okay, but
Okay, sir. I
if
will try it.
yeah.
Right now, I'm not able to say it, but afterwards, I
Yeah.
will try it.
Whatever the company, whatever the email from the company which you have opened, you will notice the same name of that company, or same name of that message ID. Uh, for example, if it was google.com, gmail.com, facebook.com, then it will something regarding gmail.com services, sonylive.com. And so if you will notice that message ID. If it was a phishing email, then you cannot see any information regarding company. For example, if someone has mailed you the phishing link of Instagram login, like the email said that your password has been changed, and if you want to recover your password, click on the following link. And if you open that link, then it will ask you for current Instagram login ID and password, but it was a phishing link. But if you open that show original, and if you notice that message ID, it was not from your at the rate something dot instagram.com, or at the rate instagram.com, although it has from anything random ID. So these are the phishing uh, techniques, and these are the way in which you can protect yourself. Also, if you receive any suspicious email from your SMS box, like you won that lottery, don't open it in your browser. Otherwise, if you, I would suggest don't open link at all. But by the generosity, if you want to open that link, then always open that link in your incognito mode.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
If we have time, I will demonstrate other phishing example, but we don't have time, right?
Yes, sir. We are actually running a little
Yeah,
late out.
yeah.
So thank you so much, sir. It was really an eye opener for me as well. So this was really an informative and insightful session, and I'm sure you must have inspired a lot of people to pursue this career. So, so to conclude this session, I would like to ask Ratika to please take over.
Thank you, Mark. Good evening, everyone present here. I am Ritika Lad, the General Secretary of CESA. On behalf of CESA, I'd like to extend my gratitude to our honorable guest, Mr. Parshwa Bhavsar sir, to take out his time from his busy schedule and grace our event. Thank you so much, sir. Your session was indeed very informative, and I am sure people over here who wish to take on their career as cybersecurity have learned a lot. And thank you everyone over here present for your active participation. I'd like you to fill the feedback form. It will be soon passed on in the WhatsApp group as well. And yeah, that's all. Thank you so much for making our event a great success. Please stay tuned for all the other events that will be organized by CESA. Thank you. Just a minute, I'll send the feedback link.